Welcome to Game.Bot Game Presents Generation Dragons, episode 28. Good sir, Steve.
We're together.
We're together again.
We're here.
Third episode,
Cheers.
episode 3 of Live, Revenge of the Black Ice. Because that's what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be a good night, man.
So, Steve, so say you. How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm looking forward to the talk we're going to have today because big arcade boy back in the day, and that's kind of where we're going with this.
Yeah, well, yeah. So today, before we get into anything, we want to say thank you to everyone who's watched. Thank you to our 42 subscribers. Yeah, we've got 42.
Woo!
Woo! Much appreciated. Thank you. No. Yeah, so thank you to everyone who has been watching us and enjoying our videos. We really appreciate it. So yes, as Steve was mentioning, we're definitely going to be talking about arcades. We want to do our top 5 arcades that we've played over the years, and if we have time, we're going to jump into our top 5 theme songs from the 8-bit to 16-bit era. Anywho,
It's just so much to dig into there. Like, I want to do like a top 25. But yeah, to try keep it shorter, it's going to be tough because I actually didn't make the list. I just threw everything down that ran off my head.
yeah.
But let's start with you. If
All right.
we're going to go with games that were impactful in the arcade, big memory games, give me one.
So we're not talking like rollerball or anything like that. We're talking actual arcade machines.
Actual
right?
arcade machines, yeah.
Okay, so probably and I'm gonna regret saying this because I think I'm going to kill how you say it. It is called Initial D. No, Initial D, that's right. It's
Initial D.
It's
Why don't I remember that one?
It's a racing game based off an anime based out of Japan. So Midway, if you remember Midway at Sailor Raw,
Yep.
that was where we played it. It's straight up racing game, but you're playing, you're using your GTRs, you're using your 240 SXs, your Integras, like all the old, Japanese
Sports cars.
Yeah. So that's definitely one of the
right.
most impactful. Can't say it's my number 1, but it's probably one. I
Are
would
we
say
gonna
it's
go-
my number 5. We'll
Going
go 5
down?
Yeah.
5 down?
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be tough. So I'm glad I made a list. But if I was going to say number 5 for me, I'm probably going to say Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2, not Marvel vs. Capcom.
No, because
Number
I'm
2?
probably going to put that right before, but
Yeah.
because my list is so big, I'm kind of doing it on the fly. But Street Fighter 2 was really big. I wasn't as big as my friends were into it, but I really did enjoy it.
Right.
And it was something that we all got in together. So where I grew up, the arcade was called Kaz's, and we'd go there on a weekend or on a Friday night or sometimes during the week, but not often.
Right.
And that was the one game we all kept coming back to.
Yeah.
So
Street Fighter 2, and hey, you can just go and buy it on your Switch now. And play.
it's my arcade cabinet the way
Yeah.
it looks, actually. That's when I was picking the arcade one-ups. I knew I was going to drill holes, so I didn't think the buttons mattered, but
Yeah.
at the time I wanted the most holes anyway. That was the main reason about the Street Fighter cabinet.
Right.
But the secondary thing was like, I remember playing Street Fighter 2. But anyway, number 4, man.
Number 4. Oh, now I'm looking at your list here. I mean, for me, it was probably Terminator or Terminator 2.
Judgment Day?
Judgment Day.
That was a good game.
Just
like...
yeah. Reload.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Off the screen. No, yeah, that's probably because I just remember, again, Midway, going to Silver City and playing at Palladium there, being able to jump in with buddies, with friends, or Kathy and stuff like that, and just jump on and just, that's what you're playing. But yeah, man, that's probably not my number 4. Again, like you said, there's so many games on here, but I'm looking at the list that you put together, and I'm like, well, I didn't really play that.
know.
I didn't play that in arcade. I played that on my NES or Super NES, like Mortal Kombat. Like, that was a Genesis game.
So this is literally
Like,
all games I've played in an arcade, and I realized, holy shoot, that's a lot of games I played in an arcade. But
That's a lot
yeah,
of
it's over
quarters,
like
man.
a decade or two.
That's a lot
give
of
or take.
quarters. But yeah, no, so probably Terminator. Yeah. What about yourself? What's number 4?
Probably WWF WrestleFest.
WrestleFest. Now, is that with Doink the Clown?
Yeah, actually, I think it is.
And Lex
Might be mixing it
Luthor,
up with
or
the other one,
Lex,
but it
Lex
had the
Luthor.
Warrior, had Hulk, of course, and that. But I was a big WWF guy back in the day, and so that was a natural fit for me and to play the games and that. But love that game, man.
Right.
And the theme songs when they come in, it had the $1 Million Man, and yeah, it was just one of those games that stuck with me because it hit. Even my brother would play it and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I never played it. I don't think I ever played that one at an arcade. I mean, it would have been for me. It was, I don't know if it was called WrestleFest, but I think it was WWF WrestleMania. Where
Yeah,
like,
there's like 3 or 4.
yeah,
so
like
I'm probably
Super Nintendo, where it's like Doink the Clown, Lex Luthor.
brings back memories.
There's a few
Lex
other,
Luthor and his
his steel elbow.
yeah.
Number 3 for me. There's so many.
Right.
I gotta say the Halo arcade.
There was a Halo arcade.
There is a Halo arcade.
You played it?
I did. So when I went to Halo Outpost Discovery in Philadelphia in 2019, so that arcade had just released at oh man, what's the big arcade place in the States?
You mean Twin Galaxies? No, that's the one that did all the scoring.
No, it's oh my goodness, there's 2 in Toronto. Holy crap. Anyways, Dave & Buster's. That's what it's called, Dave & Buster's. So
Okay.
they released it at Dave & Buster's, so I obviously didn't get to play the ones here in Toronto, but they had it at the Halo Outpost, and just to get in there, it's a shooter, right? Like it's the same Terminator style, House of the Dead, that type of stuff, right?
Yep.
But then it was Halo, and it played decently well. Graphically, it was pretty as shit. Like, it was so nice. It was really pretty. I mean, impactful in my life? No, but because it's more of a recent game, and obviously part of my favorite series in video games, I'd put that number 3. What about you, sir? What about
Number
you?
3 would be X-Men: Children of the Atom.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah.
So I was a big fan of the X-Men series in the 90s.
Right.
And to play that game was just a natural extension of that, and then just to be able to play like as I don't know, any of the X-Men characters, Wolverine, even Cyclops and stuff like that. It was a great game.
Yeah,
So.
I hear you. Because I remember jumping into the X-Men arcade games. I'm pretty sure it was Children of the Atom. That or like the four button, 4 groups, right? The 4-player games, or like TMNT, right? Like that, as you know, TMNT is huge for me. I love TMNT.
Right.
So playing that arcade was great. So actually,
Can't disagree with you on that one.
Oh, man, number 2. So number 2 for myself. I know it's a little weird and it's not very good, but Crazy Taxi, because I love Crazy Taxi.
I never played it in the arcade. No, I played it on the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. I played it when I was, again, in Philadelphia. We went to something very similar to Barcadia, and they had one. But it was a standing one, so you got your steering wheel, and your gas pedal was down, so you'd stand.
Oh, yeah,
and go
yeah.
like that, right? So
I play games like that, like Pole Position,
Yeah.
or whatever, so.
But yeah, that's my number 2. Again, just because I love Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, I wish the list was bigger, because there's other games that
yeah.
are popping in my head now, but... So I think my number 2 would... It's tough, because I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty with a few things, like I want to say... I loved Operation Wolf and that, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider it a number 2, because it's a gun game. It was good, but... I'm going to say Metal Slug.
Okay.
That game, I loved it. Just the runner... It was crazy hard.
Yeah.
Literally just doing this the whole time. Like, but great game, and I played a lot of it on the Neo Geo at my
That's what I
buddy's
was
place
thinking.
and things. And then, of course, I bought a bunch of them, and later, like in the Switch store and things like that, just because I love going back to it. But that game was a good one.
Yeah. Oh, man. Number 2. Oh, wait. We're already at number 1.
I know. We should have went like 10.
10. Yeah, I know.
Let's do a couple honorable mentions.
Yeah,
then.
for sure. My number 1 arcade game. Oh, my goodness. I don't know, Steve. There's too many.
I know what mine is. It's always been my number 1, so...
I'm just looking at your list here to see if anything pops out. To me, that's my number 1 because there's so many number 1s. You know what? I'm gonna go with Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Not bad.
That
My
was
kids love that game, by the way.
I was playing it. It was at the arcade. Well, the few arcades they had at Algonquin at college there, and
I forgot about that.
And yeah, we used to go and sit and jam on that here and there, and you'd have the international students playing it, and they'd just be like, I'd be like, no, I'm good. Nah, I'm not gonna play with these guys.
Not playing with those guys.
Not playing with them. No, but dude, arcades. Like, I just wish our arcades were like they were in Japan. Like,
Well, you experienced that. And
walking
I
in,
want to.
walking into the arcades in Japan, it was just like, what, Corkery and I were playing a mech game. I don't even remember what the mech game was called, but like you can feel like your seat's moving with you. You have your foot pedals. You're like kind of like Mech Assault type style,
Like Steel Battalion,
Yeah.
but better.
yeah. Everything popping up on your screen. And there's Takanoi. I think I'm killing that name, but anyways, a drum game where it's full on drum, and you got your drumsticks. You blah blah blah, right? Like kind of like DDR, but more intense.
Makes you think of the Taiko drum master I have.
Yeah, so something similar like that, right? But yeah, man, like so yeah, my number one was probably Marvel's Capcom. Number two, but that's a tough one. Like,
Where'd you play it?
Algonquin.
Oh yeah, you just said that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was actually racing my head like where you lived. And then,
Number one for you, Steve.
easily TMNT, the arcade. Just by far the game I sunk the most amount of money in. Came back to play again and again. I just love that game to death. It was.
It's great that we're now able just to hit the one button to add more points.
Right. Well, I can switch it on mine, so you have to actually put quarters in. But realistically, I only do that to show off or something like that. But yeah, just going. It's the only way you'll ever beat the damn game.
Yeah.
It's like Battletoads.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get into honorable mentions because I have a few stories behind different games. I'll let you go first. Pick. You can look to the list if you like there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the list here, Steve. On your honorable mentions,
And dishonorable. There's one I want to put.
there's Cruis'n USA for sure.
Great game. I actually just played that like a week ago. Well, I played Cruis'n World.
Right.
So.
Killer Instinct was another good one.
Yeah.
NBA Jam, but again, for me,
Welcome
it was more,
to NBA Jam. He's on fire.
for me, it's more of that's more of a Super Nintendo game for me than arcade. Right? But like Tappers. Oh, Tappers. That's a good one.
Yeah. So you've seen the different versions of Tappers, right?
Yeah.
There's the one with the beer, and then there's one with it's root beer, and so.
Yeah, so that same bar that we played.
Barcadia?
No, the one in Philadelphia. That we played. I played Crazy Taxi. Had the OG Tappers game in it. Oh man, I just sat there. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Why is this not working? These buttons don't work. But
it's way different on your own arcade or a controller.
Yeah. Go ahead. You go ahead and list off some.
Well, I'm going to give you a dishonorable mention because it was a game I loved to play, hated to play.
What's that?
Dragon's Lair. Never
Lair.
figure out that freaking game when I was young. But I love the way it looked. It was a laser disc, right? So the video was just crisp.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was like, it's like a cartoon you control. But I could never figure out what you were supposed to do, so I'd soak money into it and get nowhere.
Yeah.
So that was a dishonorable mention. But yeah, you go next because I got a few.
Man. Yeah, I mean Asteroids, obviously. Miss Pac-Man is another one.
So Miss Pac-Man. So I like Miss Pac-Man better than Pac-Man. But do you know what the difference is?
Well, other than the ribbon on top of her head, I'm trying to remember.
It sounds like the commercial. I'm more than Pac-Man with a bow or something like that.
I actually, I do. So I've heard it, but I don't remember.
So the difference is the maze changes.
And
with Pac-Man, it's a static board rate, the first game. And I'd really have to look it up, but these guys basically modded it with a board to make Pac-Man have more options.
Okay.
They presented it, I want to say to Atari. I don't know if it was Namco or Atari, whoever might have been Namco. And they actually loved it and went with it, and they ran with it and called it Miss Pac-Man. So,
yes, that's they talk about it in one of the Netflix show. No, is it Netflix? I do recall watching it. Yeah, I think it's Netflix. Anyways.
So we should watch that to find out.
Yeah,
it's probably on.
There's a movie about that because it was what it was talking about the how they used to improve arcade machines. So Pac-Man, it was like they edited the Pac-Man.
Sprites or
No, not even the sprites.
the
but
board,
just
the actual
board.
bot, yeah.
And that's what I remember that. But now I'm trying to remember what that movie was called.
If you think of it, let me know.
Yep. All right. Hey, anyone, if you remember it, throw it in the comments. Pretty sure it's on Netflix, but anyways. Another honorable mention. Man, there's so many on this list. Gauntlet, yeah. Mortal Kombat, obviously. Killer Instinct is another good one.
Rampage, man. That's where it's at.
This is true. I had one in my head that's not on this list, and I've lost it, but that's okay. So, Steve, any more? Any other?
I'll give you a couple, and then we'll move on just for the sake
sure.
of time. But Rampage was a good one for me. I was a huge Godzilla fan, and King Kong and all that. And even though it's nothing to do with them,
Donkey Kong, man.
So Donkey Kong, I almost put on the list, and I didn't because I never played it in the arcade. I might have, but I don't really remember it. It wasn't a big game for me. Like, it didn't strike anything for me. I did play it like a lot on the Atari, Donkey Kong Jr. especially. Yeah. But in the arcade, I don't think I really played it much.
I mean, obviously not for me when I was growing up, because that would have been 16 years before I was born. But
you might have found an old one still. Right.
But I played a few here and there. Just the arcade machines, just randomly wherever. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember where I played it on the arcade, but yes, I want to make sure we threw that in there, because if not, I'm sure somebody's going to say something that we don't say that. But yes.
Okay, then if we're gonna ones that we have to mention, I used to do Kaz's, as I was saying, but there's also another place which I think is still around on Hazeling Road in Canada called the Broken Q. So it's a pool hall, but they had a little wing that was arcade machines, and I played Punch Out to death in there.
Punch Out, Steve. This is perfect to lead us into our next section.
All right,
top theme songs.
Punch Out's a pretty good one
from the 8-bit and 16-bit era. So, Steve.
All right.
I don't know if we have to do top 5, but most impactful. What sticks in your brain from those eras?
Zelda Overtune, Zelda's Lullaby is, for me, one that always comes up in my head.
Right.
Like, just randomly, I can even be, like, eating something, and it'll be in the back of my mind, and then I'll be like, oh, yeah, great guys. What about you?
Punch Out is definitely...
Yeah, I knew you were going there. It was a good one.
Anything else here? Anything else? But man, there's so many.
For me, the biggest one I'd say, now that I'm really thinking about, would be Mutant League Football. And I know it's not a big popular game for people, but just that as soon as you turn it on, it does the EA thing, and all it's like, and lightning's coming out, and like, I just always stick with that because I love the game.
Right.
So.
I gotta say, I have to mention, obviously, Green Hill Zone from
yeah, I knew
Sonic.
that was coming. That's a really good catchy, like, you remember it right away. And you can't have a list without saying Super Mario Brothers from the...
Oh, obviously.
Like, everyone in the world knows that game.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like,
knows that. I mean,
tune, sorry.
For me, I guess you'd consider this 8-bit, maybe not. Pokemon Red and Blue from the Game Boy.
Yeah, that'd be 8-bit, but yeah.
That's definitely that thing. I mean, obviously... You clearly know that how much I love Pokemon, so Pokeball tattooed to my leg.
Yep,
and,
you do.
Try to force my children to watch Pokemon with me.
I do the same thing with Transformers, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some of it sticks, some of it falls.
Yeah. What else, man? What else?
You put this on the list, and I forgot about it. And as soon as you added it, I'm like, oh yeah, Tetris.
Yes,
Tetris for sure.
Tetris.
Oh wait, I'm screwing it up, but
no, but yeah, no, I can't. Tetris. We'd have to.
There you go. That was such a good one, right?
And then F-Zero, Mute City.
Yep,
that's definitely the one that catches you right when you're like, it's coming, boom, and then it goes. DuckTales.
Yeah, so I put that on. The game's like a pretty good game too, actually, except Scrooge like jumping on a pogo. But the tune in that game is pretty good. And, Super Metroid, I loved it, but it's creepy as shit. But
yeah, well, the tone to the music, right? That's what it is. Like, it definitely makes you feel like, yeah.
So that one stuck with me for a long time. It's not 8-bit or 16-bit, but if we ever talk about best tunes, Halo. Like,
Oh, obviously.
yeah, but as soon as you hear that, it's like. But if we're sticking to 16 and 8-bit, what else do we got on this list that I wrote? Star Fox, specifically one level, and it was called Space Armada.
Okay.
But you'd have to play it. But it just
Oh yeah.
grabs you. I can't remember the tune now. I actually, when I would write the list, like I know this, and so I looked it up. Actually, I just Googled to play it, and it played it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's it. So,
I mean, yeah. Super Mario World, Super Nintendo. That whole theme is just all of the music in the game is great, right? Obviously Zelda, like what we were talking about before, but like Link to the Past, the music in that,
and they've used that same overtune like throughout so many games.
Yeah. So, man, I'm sure there's so many more.
Super Mario Brothers 2. It was such a departure from the first one, and then everything after it.
Yeah.
Well, kind of everything after, not really. Ninja Gaiden.
So I don't
on
remember.
The NES.
I don't.
Oh, dude.
That.
It was one of the first games I ever played that was cinematic cutscenes.
Right.
And they had the music, and the two ninjas go up in the air, and they slice each other. One falls, one doesn't. And with the music playing, it was just awesome.
So there's Cyber Ninja, Cyber Shadow, Shadow Ninja, Shadow Cyber. Anyways, there's a new-ish 8-bit game on Game Pass that's very Ninja Gaiden-esque.
Oh yeah.
That I downloaded on my PC using Game Pass Ultimate. That you should probably throw on this bad boy over here and
give it a play.
Shot. Yeah, it's good. Like I really enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't play through because I downloaded it onto my PC instead of my Xbox because I don't sit on my laptop.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's a sweet one. Just sorry, sidetracked, but
that's what we do. We lean into things and then come back.
No, yeah. I mean, there's so many other things. Like you've got as an honorable mention here is Daytona USA.
Oh my God, that tune stays with me. I always sing it wrong because I never figured out the words. But I used to always say Daytona, get blown away. But I think it's Let's Go Away.
Yeah.
But that song. Yeah.
So for me, like, and all this is outside of 8-bit and 16-bit is the Crazy Taxi theme song. Yeah. Well, it's Offspring.
Yeah.
That was.
I could say that like with Road Rash on the 3DO and stuff.
Oh man, Road Rash! I remember Road Rash on the Saturn. That's what I used to have it on.
Oh, I don't think I have it on the Saturn actually.
I don't have it anymore. I don't think.
I guess there's something we have to get.
Yeah, we'll have to look at Road Rash on the Saturn.
Oh man.
Oh jeepers! Well, Steve, we wanted to keep this short and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
We're live, back together again.
Yay! Cheers again, my friend.
Next week, we'll hopefully get a chance to. Give everyone their thoughts on what If TV series on Disney.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I actually didn't give it really much of a chance, and my daughter brought it up yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah. And you brought it up today. I'm like, oh yeah. I've got to do it.
Kathy and I watched it yesterday, and yeah, it was good. It was good. Really enjoyed it. So
now, if they do that with Transformers, what if?
Yeah.
What if Prime never died?
Yeah. Oh, what if?
Again. And again. How many times that guy die?
Then there's also, I would definitely want to talk about Back for Blood. I think you and I should probably jump on that, the beta, and see what our thoughts are. Definitely, I mean...
maybe we should do a chat about the Transformers Anniversary Edition DVD.
Oh, yes.
So I'll watch it and see if it's any different than the previous 25th.
Yeah.
Or 30th. I don't know. We're getting old now, but let's see if 35th is different.
Yeah, that is true. So Steve and I both got the 4K version
Thank you, Clint.
Of the 86 movie for the 35th anniversary of Transformers.
Which I saw in theater at 10 years old.
And I was...
Actually, I was 9. I didn't turn 10 yet.
I was an egg inside of my mother's ovary and not even existing
Twinkle in your dad. Oh, you wouldn't have been created yet.
Not even existing in my dad's testicles. So, anywho, so we're going to watch that over the next coming weeks, and we'll have to see what it is.
I'm using that later.
Anywho, Steve, as always, good sir.
Keep collecting.
Keep gaming.
Keep safe. Hey, we got it on time. Yeah.